Good afternoon. This is Ron Mickens. Fraud upon the court. The truth is in the details. We were Willie lynched. We were Willie lynched. Okay. Oprah Winfrey had a guest. She asked her guest, maybe about 3, maybe 4 weeks ago, she asked her guest, what was God to her? The lady responded with, God is law. I couldn't agree with her. I agree with her 150%. I could not agree with her more. I heard a gentleman, you call them the digeratis, they're billionaires, Stan Stransberry, I think that was his name. He said that in actuality, in reality, there were no such thing as slaves and slave owners. Okay, let me kind of clarify that to you. What he's saying, pursuant to objective law, pursuant to the Constitution, there is no slaves. Okay? And I agree with that. But on the other hand, I do not agree with him because when you got a system of government that's really or practicing subjective law and enforcing objective law, then you do have a slave and a slave owner. And this is what they created in the US. They created a Plato majority rule, anti-civilization. Okay, it's corrupt to the core, and it is incurable, uncurable. Okay, it's let's just tell it like it is. It's just destruction and death. We're all designed to fail and die. Okay. President, the judges, and our legislators / our congressmen, senators, and representatives, they must be required to uphold the Constitution / objective law and reject subjective political agenda law and ego justice. Oh, they mix it up. They confuse us. But this is slave law. Okay? This is how they murder us. This is how they really lynch us. They done tricked us into what? Killing ourselves because of our ignorance of our constitutional, God-given, inalienable right. Okay? We have to learn our rights. The reason why we are being really lynched is because we don't know our objective / constitutional rights, and the individual that are victims don't know their objective and constitutional rights. Okay? So stay with me, because my videos and our property trail prove 100% that in our cases, the judges, the lawyers, the politicians, the bureaucrats, and law enforcement officers, they are all, and I'm talking about in our case in particular, they are all camouflage criminals. Criminals in disguise. Oh, I proved it. That's why I encourage you, please view my videos from 1 through 29, because I proved it beyond any reasonable doubt, 100%. Beyond any doubt that they are camouflage criminals. Okay? They treated us like we were absolutely nothing. They degraded, they demeaned, humiliated, debased, mortified, harassed, terrorized, threatened, stigmatized, defamed us. They stole our private property. They put me under arrest and imprisoned me. And we ain't did nothing to anybody. They set us up to be killed by a sheriff SWAT team. Set us up to be murdered. And guess what they're saying? This is the epitome of Willie lynching us. They said, the judge said that this is what Ron and Gloria Mickens desired. This is what they wanted. That's Willie lynching us. They imposed that on us. Okay. And they did the same thing to Rashard Brooks, to George Floyd, Sandra Bland, Trayvon Martin, Katherine Johnson, Sean Bell, Eric Garner, Rekia Bowen, Amadou Diallo, Mac Brown, Kamani Gray, Kenneth Chamberlain, Tavares McGill, Tamir Rice, Yana Stanley Jones, Elijah McClain. They were all, not just they, but we too. This is why I know what Willie lynching is all about. They Willie lynched them. And we also are Willie lynching because of the straw man, because Roosevelt turned us all into what you call straw man corporate slaves back in 1933. And the majority of the lawyers sold us out in 1939. They joined the conspiracy. Okay? So listen up. That's why I'm trying to slow it down a little bit. Okay? So you'll get it. I'm gonna go over this document with you again to prove my point 100%. It is impossible for us to be enslaved if we require the president to enforce the Constitution. Do not let them off the hook any longer by having us to protest for reform and for more subjective agenda laws. And we already have the Constitution. The Constitution is immutable law. It's based on the laws of physics. Okay? It's based on the laws of nature. It's based on God's law. So I'm going to share it with you once again so you'll get it. Because my mission is to get this particular document in everybody's hand, because this document requires the president, the judges, and the legislature to enforce the Constitution. This is our revolution. So stay with me. Let me show you the document again. Okay? You see it. It says the Constitution of the universe. And I'm going to share it with you again so you will get it. This is our freedom. This is the end of slavery. We got to do this to keep more of us from being murdered, killed, and their killers getting off. Okay, so stay with me, because this document proves that all those victims that I just named out, if you get this, their killers will have to be marched off to prison or electrocuted. So stay with me. The Constitution of the universe, the preamble, the purpose of human life is to live happily. The function of government is to guarantee those conditions that allow individuals to fulfill their purpose. Those conditions can be guaranteed through a constitution that forbids the use of initiatory force. The threat of force coercion by any person or group against any individual. Okay, Article 1. Stay with me now. Stay with me because you got to hear this. It say, no person, group of persons, or government may initiate force, use the threat of force, or fraud against any individual, self, or property. We as a people don't know that when an officer initiate force or use the threat of force is unconstitutional. This is a criminal act. When the officer initiated force against George Floyd, that was a crime. Okay? That's a crime against God. That's a crime against nature. Using the threat of force, that is a crime. I hope you get it. Now stay with me. Article 2 says, force may be morally and legally used only in self-defense against those who violate Article 1. Okay, you only use force against people who initiate force, who use the threat of force, and who commit fraud. That is the only time that you use force. Force is for defense, self-defense, not for offense, not for initiating force. So what? Stay with me, because Article 3 says there's no exception to that exists for violating Article 1 and Article 2. In other words, there's absolutely no justification for their crimes and their torts. You can go back to Sandy Bland and Rayshard Brooks. They didn't even know that they were travelers. There's a distinction between a traveler and a driver. Okay? A traveler and officer cannot do anything to them but help them get home. Those statutory subjective laws does not apply to a traveler. A driver uses the road for commercial purposes. Okay? You gotta understand that they were travelers. The police officer tricked them into treating them like they were drivers. And we as a people, as a whole, do not realize that we are travelers when we're out there on the road if we're not conducting business. So let me go a little bit further because I'm slowing it down a little bit. But everybody out there has to get possession of this document because it protects our constitutional, God-given, inalienable constitutional rights. Objective law must be upheld. This is a legal exhibit that demands that objective law be upheld by all officers of the court. Attach this exhibit to all motions, legal document, correspondence used in any local, state, or federal court. This legal exhibit demands the termination of, number 1, subjective political agenda laws. Number 2, ego justice. Upon receipt of this legal exhibit, under penalty of job termination, judges as well as prosecutors and lawyers must reject all forms of subjective political agenda laws and ego justice. Those officers of the court must henceforth practice only objective law, constitutional law. Subjective law, stay with me, include political agenda laws conjured up. That means trumped up. This is fraudulent law that's conjured up by politicians and bureaucrats to gain self-serving benefits, false egos, and unearned power. Unearned power. Enforcement of political agenda laws require the use of force and armed bureaucrats against innocent people. Objective laws are not conjured up by politicians or bureaucrats. Instead, like the laws of physics, they arise from the immutable laws of nature. Such laws are valid, benefit everyone, and advance society. Objective laws are based on the moral prohibition of initiatory force, threat of force, and fraud. If objective law is upheld, it is impossible for us to be treated as nothings, to be treated less than human, non-humans. Okay, the only way they can do that is by enforcing subjective political agenda law. Now, I hope you understand why you protesters are out there asking the fox to guard the chickens. Ego justice is the use of subjective political agenda laws to gain harmful livelihoods and fear false importance. Ego justice is the survival tool for many of the politicians, the lawyers, and the judges. Okay, purpose of this legal exhibit is to inform officers of the court that practicing ego justice and using threats, force, fines, guns, and jails to enforce objective crimes that must eventually be prosecuted. Also, to inform officers of the court that they are henceforth fully responsible for upholding objective law and rejecting ego justice. Order: render criminal penalties only against those violating objective laws in committing objective crimes. Objective crimes occur only upon the initiation of force or fraud against individuals and their property. Such crimes include murder, rape, assault, robbery, fraud. Those crimes also include all ego justice fraud. Such criminal frauds encompass gun-back threats, gun-back assaults, gun-back pillaging, and gun-back false imprisonment executed by armed bureaucracies enforcing political agenda laws. Also, the illegal political weapon of RICO and seizure laws are increasingly used against innocent people. All such political agenda and ego justice crimes are terminated by enforcing objective laws. After receipt of this legal exhibit, any officer of the court who commits such crimes of ego justice and judicial fraud will eventually be identified, prosecuted, and have his or her harmful career terminated. And through objective justice, court officers guilty of those serious crimes must pay restitution to their victims. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have our revolution. I know you don't understand quite clearly how they created this anti-civilization to keep the black man down, to keep us in slavery. This is what Willie Lynch guaranteed the slave owners, that we would refuel and regenerate our own slavery for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. His Willie Lynch doctrine has been successful for 310 years. And ladies and gentlemen, if we do not require them to enforce the Constitution and nothing but the Constitution, we are going to continually be enslaving ourselves out there protesting for more subjective laws, which ain't nothing but a bunch of fraud, creating an anti-civilization. Hey, you stagnating your creativity. You stagnating your real purpose in life. Okay? You can never become the person that you were meant to be. The only thing that this entire civilization can offer you is failure and death in the end. That is not the way God designed it. And you better wake up, because the digital writers is getting ready to do it to us. Okay? So that's coming too. But guys, special, my viewers out there, my supporters out there, my subscribers, hey, you got to help me get this knowledge to our people so we can stop being murdered. We can stop helping them murder our own selves. So what? Stay with me. I slowed it down. A little bit, but oh boy, have I got some other things for you. Hey, listen up. Hey, I got to share with you about how they all have really lynched us. Got us loving them more than we love ourselves. That they done fashioned it where what? We only trust them and nobody else. Okay? Oh, I got a story that I want to share with you. You got to know a little history though. But listen up, I'm coming back. But don't forget, we got to share this Constitution of the universe and our United States Constitution, because that's what keep us from being enslaved. Not just us, but any human being. So what? In the words of Ida B. Wells, the way you right wrong is to shine the light of truth upon them. I'll talk to you later.